Hi, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining our conversation today. Before we begin, let's take a brief moment to arrive together. If it's comfortable, you might close your eyes or just allow your gaze to soften. And take a slow, easy breath in and a long, gentle breath out. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice any tension in your body. And I invite you to take any gentle movement that feels right for you in this moment. Perhaps you circle your neck, circling your chin around your collarbone. Turn your head to look from one side and then the next. If you'd like, you can reach your arms all the way up to the sky and inhale. As you exhale, bend your elbows, draw your shoulder blades together behind you, squeeze. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, release your arms down to your sides or in your lap. Coming back to your breath. Allow your attention to settle as we come into this shared space. As we begin our time together, may we bring a sense of curiosity, presence, and connection, both in ourselves and with one another, as we get to know the heart and vision guiding IAYT forward. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and let's begin. Thank you. We're so glad that you could join us for this special live conversation with Dominique Ferrera Hawkins, IAYT's new executive director. Many of you already know Dominique from her time as associate director and more recently as interim executive director at IAYT. And today we're excited to get to know her a little better, to hear about her vision for IAYT, what inspires her most about the future of yoga therapy, and how she envisions our community continuing to grow together under her leadership. Dominique brings such a rich blend of experience in organizational psychology, law, and yoga therapy, and we can't wait to dive into her insights about where we're headed as an organization and as a profession. So settle in, you can say hello in the chat if you're watching live, and let's jump right in. Dominique, hi, welcome. Glad to have you with us today.
Hi, thank you. It's so nice to be here talking with you both in this very different way.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And with an audience.
Yes.
So congratulations on officially stepping into the role of executive director. It's been an exciting time for IAYT. From your perspective, how does it feel to officially take on this role after serving as interim director for the past several months? And what inspired you to accept the position permanently?
Yeah, it feels like an arriving home. That's how I keep thinking about it. When I had started with IAYT in my previous role as associate director, I was really excited to be a part of this organization and community. And I had been searching at that time for organizations to work with that I felt valued, aligned with my values. And IAYT really was that place and still is. And so you've also heard me say many times, what an amazing team we have, right? Like the passion for yoga therapy, the support of our members, our programs, and the profession, has just been inspiring. It's been inspiring to be working with you all. So getting to evolve my role from associate to interim and now the executive director role, it just felt right. Felt like coming home.
Oh, I love that. Before we go like really heavy into your plans for IAYT, we just wanted to get to know you a little bit better. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about your journey, like what led you to yoga and then like eventually yoga therapy?
Yeah, so like a lot of people, my first introduction to yoga was through asana, through the physical movement and postures. My mom actually practiced yoga when I was a small child, and I didn't know that it was yoga and I didn't know anything about it, but I would sometimes join in and try all of these different moves that she was doing and didn't think anything of it. And then when I got into my 20s and 30s, I started having more of a regular practice. Again, asana based. I went to yoga studios. I was taking classes on and off. But really the pivotal changing point for me was reading the book, The Body Keeps the Score. Just a lot of pieces that fell into place for myself. And I started to really understand and see yoga from a different perspective. And then when I was 39, I had this really big monumental life event. And that really prompted my deeper journey into yoga. That's when I first took a teacher training. And I wasn't intending to teach. I was really just intending to deepen my own practice. And then, of course, like a lot of people, you get through the training and then you say, like, I can't imagine not sharing this with others. Like, I saw the benefit in my own life and my own healing. And I really wanted to share that in community. So I took additional trainings in trauma sensitive yoga. I was teaching yoga in Florida juvenile detention facilities with youth. And then I was also teaching at the yoga studio where I did my first training. And it was in that first training, my 200 hour, that I first learned about yoga therapy and the role of yoga therapists. And my curiosity was piqued. So I taught for a few years and then went back to start my studies to become a CIAYT. And I'm on that journey now. And it was just about that timing that I started working at IAYT. And so it was just this beautiful synergy and timing for coming into the organization where I was in my yoga journey.
That's fascinating. It's always interesting for me, like when we have like these conversations, because even when we meet one-on-one as well as how our organization works, everyone out there as well, Dominique meets with us. And, just from time to time, you just find out little bits and pieces. And I'm always fascinated, because some of the stuff you said, I didn't even know. So that's pretty cool. So in line with that fascinating background, all of these pieces, organizational psychology, law, coaching, like, how do these worlds connect with the work that you're doing now?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of overlap. Sometimes I'm really surprised with how much overlap and how much kind of weaving or threading there is between these different areas. And so I would say, the lens and perspective that I bring into my work now and the work that I was doing in these different areas and portions of my career really fits in nicely, I have found, with foundational yoga therapy. And I think part of that is that all of these areas that I've kind of focused on over the years or done deeper training in, they're about like seeking to understand and also supporting growth and development in others.
Yeah.
And so I think all of these combined, these studies, career experiences, they've shaped my leadership style. They've shaped my perspective on team building and really my perspective on serving community. And I think the part also that I want to bring in, and I think is an important piece of the intersection, right? We have our professional life and then we have our personal lived experiences. And so that lens also comes into my work. So my positionality as a Latina, as a person living with invisible disability, and having faced similar hardships to some of the communities that I've worked in and worked with, I think it's allowed me to work with people from diverse backgrounds, and experiences, and to be open to new or differing perspectives. And I think all of those things are really incredibly important to hold space for as a leader, any kind of leader, not just leading an organization, but any kind of leadership role that you might be stepping into.
Yeah, I agree. And we love working with you. Let's shift gears a little bit. And we're going to do a couple rapid fire questions. So I'm going to take 4 of these rapid fire, and I'm going to let Kelly take another 4. So this is just like some fun ways, because a lot of the times the people, they meet you in the role, but they don't really know like the person behind. So we just thought this would be a cool way for the audience to get to know you a little better beyond the role. And we just want you to say the first thing that comes to mind. So not like a ton of thought or anything like that.
Okay.
First thing comes to mind. Are you ready?
Yes, I think this will be fun. All right. All right.
Okay, cool. So coffee, tea, or something else to start your morning?
I start with coffee.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to say tea.
Afternoon tea, morning coffee.
Oh.
Yeah. Afternoon and evening tea. Yeah, I like to do coffee. I do a half, not too much caffeine.
We are learning as we go. Okay. Which yoga pose would you say your body asks for most often?
Anjani asana.
Okay. And for our other yogis out there who might not necessarily know the Sanskrit word, can you?
Yeah, so it's basically a kneeling crescent pose, a lunge that you can do with your knee on the ground or lifted, and you're opening up the front of your body, reaching up and back, usually with your hands clasped into temple. And it's just a really lovely way to just open up the entire front and stretch your hip flexors. And so it's one of my favorites.
Beautiful. And what book or podcast has been inspiring you lately?
Ooh, so I've been reading lately a book called The Walker's Guide to Outdoor Clues and Signs.
What? Wow.
And nature. I'm a lover of nature, and I think it's a really mindful way of looking at nature and really starting to kind of tie things together. That's all I'll say, because I know these are quick questions.
Yeah, cool. We gotta dig into that another time when we have more time. And what would you say is a place that instantly brings you peace?
In nature, particularly being in the mountains.
Okay. I'm going to shift it on to Kelly so she can get some of her rapid fire questions in there. Thank you.
Thank you. I love being in the mountains too. You have to come visit me. We have plenty.
Here. Oh my gosh, yes.
So, Dominique, do you have a go-to mantra, quote, or phrase that you live by?
Yes, I actually have a purpose statement, a story for another time for how that got created, but it's be the gardener, prepare the soil, and plant the seed.
I love that. Very nice. I always talk about anything that I'm doing. Like, I think of that as like planting a seed and then tending to it. Any idea or any goal that I have, anyone, it starts just with a seed. And my dog's waking up behind me.
He's so cute. I just saw this little mouth rolling around on the bed.
So Dominique, also, is there something that people might be surprised to learn about you?
Yeah, so I have probably close to 200 varieties of native plants, fruit trees, berries, nuts, all. Like I have a big garden. I'm big into permaculture and permaculture techniques and native gardening. So I have a ton of varieties, and it's one of my happy places.
Oh, that's awesome. That's another thing that we have in common. We're all gardeners.
Yes. Yeah. We've had those conversations. Yeah.
So if you were not leading IAYT right now, what's another path you could imagine yourself on?
Oh, it would be some combination of running a small kind of wellness retreat center / animal sanctuary / like permaculture farm garden center. Like I would just bring all of those passion hobbies and things that I'm passionate about together.
That sounds amazing. I would come to your retreat center and plants and animals.
Yes.
All right. This one might be a little tricky. What's one word to describe how you hope members will feel about IAYT's future?
I'm going to go from the something deeper than the obvious. The obvious is hopeful, right? So deeper than the obvious, I would say the word that's coming up is invested. I hope they're invested in the future.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. All right. So we're going to shift away from the rapid fire and get into a few more deeper questions here. When you think about the next few years, what's your vision for how IAYT can best serve yoga therapists and the broader integrative health community? So kind of like your bigger picture plan.
Yeah, I think of, so a lot of the pieces that I think about, I think roll up into this general concept of the need out there is great. The suffering, the need for healing, the people in pain, whether physical, mental, the need out there is great. The role of yoga therapists is needed. And so I think some of the more practical ways that as an organization, I see IAYT being able to serve not only our community, our membership, but the broader public, right, that's in need of these services. You know, it's expanding our education to the public, to potential employers, healthcare providers about how yoga therapists work, and continuing to differentiate the role of a CIAYT versus other yoga professionals. It's strengthening partnerships in the integrative healthcare landscape. I think we need more champions in those spaces in integrative health, which will lead to more of mainstreaming yoga therapy. And I think it'll also help build and support awareness, and ultimately lead to more opportunities for CIYTs. I also think, you know, being more inclusive and intentional about our international and global perspectives, influencing, you know, the path of yoga therapy, the expansion of yoga therapy as an organization, focusing, continued focus really on efficiencies and expanding our resources so that we can do more for our community, as well as continue to advance the profession. And I think this is a really important piece, especially in the climate today that we're in, but continuing to embed diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, not only into our work as an organization, but supporting our members, our programs, and the rest of the community, and sort of bringing that into the scope of the work that they do as well. And really supporting all of the pathways where yoga therapists work. So, you know, whether you're a yoga therapist that's working in a community setting, you're working private clients, you're working in clinical healthcare settings, supporting all of those pathways, they're all needed, and reaching more folks so that they can receive these services. So that's kind of like the big kind of overview. And I would if we have a second, I could highlight a few examples. Of course, it's not an exhaustive list, but some of the things that we're looking at is sort of expanding access and support to participate in SITAR, our annual conference, really platforming Global Yoga Therapy Day to bring more awareness to the profession and the benefits of yoga therapy for the broader public, right? Get that mainstream buy-in. More practically speaking, we're also going to be reapplying for a taxonomy code here in the US, which is something that will support all CIYTs, regardless of where they're working, and hopefully will be a model that can translate more into the global community as well. And there's more, of course, there's never any, as you both know, there's never any shortage or list of initiatives and things that we're working on. And we'll be doing a year in review event sometime in early 2026 to talk a little bit more, not only about the work we've done in 2025, but the kind of vision and additional things that we're working on 2026 and beyond. So that's where I'll stop, because I just rambled for a really long time.
Thank you. I think it's really important, for people to kind of get a sneak peek into the behind the scenes things that are being worked on at IAYT. And that year-end review is always really helpful. And I mean, I help put it together, and just to see everything come together in one place, all of these little pieces that are being worked on, makes it seem so much bigger and more important and more valuable, looking back over a year and saying, wow, we accomplished all of that. And, it's pretty amazing. And I'm going to echo what you said earlier. It's an amazing team to work with, who are all very passionate about expanding access and opportunities in yoga therapy. So Dominique, you had emphasized collaboration and community while you were speaking. How do you see members and partners helping to shape IAYT's next chapter?
Yeah, it's a really important question. And I think kind of building on what I was just sharing, I think there's this really important piece about transparency. So transparency from the organization IAYT to our membership about what we're working on, as well as sharing out key metrics on how we're doing across numerous categories. So anyone that knows me is I do like data. Marita and I have these conversations all the time about data and loving data. We're both kind of data nerds. And, bringing in more kind of data-informed decision-making is really important to me. And so with that in mind, providing more opportunities for our membership to share input with us, and recognizing, survey fatigue is real. We understand lots of surveys go out, not only from our organization, but from other places. But it is really the most efficient way to capture what's most important to our members and help and to help shape really the future of the profession into one that supports, what we want, right? What we want it to look like. So really wanting that input, wanting that feedback from our members in shaping our strategic areas of focus moving forward. And then also thinking about how we provide more opportunities to come together in community for important discussions, right? So not only the data piece, but like the human piece, and bringing those together and really making sure that we're modeling and we're having that community that we endeavor to have, and that we're living by those principles in day-to-day life. But that's a little bit more about how I see collaboration and community being shaped not only within our community with our membership, but also with our outside partners, and focusing on strengthening those partnerships.
And I want to add to that, our membership gives such thoughtful feedback in our surveys.
Yes.
When I those, I can tell that people really took a long time to consider what they want to say and what they feel is best. And I really appreciate the I guess thought and effort and care that goes into the feedback that our members give us. It's really helpful.
Absolutely. And what that brings up is this: we do review the feedback that we receive, and I think the piece that we're going to connect more strongly with is reporting back out. So members know what we're doing with that feedback and how it's shaping our initiatives moving forward, and that it is based on that feedback. So definitely share your feedback with us. We do look at it.
All right. I have one more question for you, Dominique, as we wrap up. What is one message that you'd like to share directly with the IAYT community, especially with members who may be meeting you for the first time here on this live stream today?
Yeah. Oh, it's a really good question. I'm hopeful for the future of yoga therapy. As an aspiring yoga therapist myself, I see good things to come in this profession, and I really care deeply about the community as well, and the future of the community. And I also just want to share, I have a lot of gratitude for our membership, for the ways that you all are supporting this organization, and the work that you're doing every single day in your own communities to share healing and well-being through yoga therapy. This profession wouldn't exist without you. Our organization wouldn't exist without you. So there's a lot of just a tremendous amount of gratitude that I hold space for. And just it's an honor to be in this role, serving the organization in this way. Yeah, so I think that's the message I would want to share. So
Lovely.
I think that's a really wonderful note to end on. I could sit and I could talk to you for quite a long time. And I mean, this happens with our meetings as well. We're supposed to be this time and we're like,
we get going. We get going. We keep talking. There's just lots to always talk about. And you both are lovely to work with and to speak with, and are bright lights in the organization. So thank you for all that you do, especially these lives. You're both wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It really was like a inspiring conversation. Is lovely to hear, like to understand your background, what kind of shapes and molds the individual, but also hearing a little bit more about your vision for IAYT and the future of yoga therapy. So, the one thing that always, when I'm in your presence, you always seem very grounded. It's a safe space talking to you. I really appreciate that. And you always feel so genuine, so I know that there's a passion behind what it is you're doing. I really appreciate your leadership, and I know that you believe in bringing the community together and working together, what we can genuinely achieve together as a community. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited that you are in this position. Looking forward to wonderful days ahead. To everyone who joined us live, thank you for being a part of this wonderful moment. We usually like to have these. I know sometimes not everyone is able to join. We do post the recording onto YouTube, but we like to have it live in case you want to interact and share your comments and stuff like that. We're hoping that you are leaving this conversation feeling as energized and as hopeful and invested as we are. So just a quick reminder, we don't want you to miss part 2 of IAYT's Continuing Education Toolkit series. So we started this toolkit series just to help everyone with continuing education. So the first one was about just giving an overview. This one is going to be about your APD courses. And then the one in December, that's going to be about marketing your APD program. So that's November 17th at 1 p.m. ET. So if you can join us, please join us. If you can't join us, still register, because whoever registers will get the recording. And that's going to be led by Satya Papu. She is our certification team lead, and Sam Sather, and he is our certification committee chair. So again, the registration, you can find it on social media, but it will probably be in your inbox as well. And we invite you to just come and be a part of it, learn about it, and connect with us. You can connect with us. Oh dear. My apologies. I thought Sam was a he. My apologies. Sorry, Sam. I haven't officially met Sam, just so that we know I'm not misgendering. Sorry. Okay. So you can stay connected with us on social media. So that's Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we also have groups on Facebook as well. We have our member schools group, and we also have a group for CIAYT. So you can just search for those. And on LinkedIn, you can search for International Association of Yoga Therapists. Another great way to stay in touch with us is to subscribe to our newsletter. So you don't have to be a member of IAYT to subscribe to the newsletter. Go to IAYT.org. If you scroll down, you can click Get the E-News, and we share a bunch of information in there. If you have a general interest about yoga therapy, that's a great way to stay informed. So until next time, keep practicing, keep connecting, and thank you for being a part of this shared journey towards whole person health and healing. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.